Go ahead. If we left out anybody?
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. My humble obeisances to all the assembled devotees on this call. This is Premanandini Devi Dasi from Ashburn, Virginia. And sorry, I'm busy in some seva today, so I couldn't chant this morning. And Shamrasika Mataji, like you said, she loves us all so much, right? She always she's there for us. So Dandavat Pranam to everyone. Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Mataji.
Mataji. Madhana Pranam to you. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you so much for joining. And I think today Hemagopi Mataji is giving class, but she read that she read some devotees' heart that some people still want to greet.
Yes,
So,
Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji.
yeah,
Dandavat.
because I saw your name and you normally greet. So then the moment Nikunjas Prabhuji said the speaker is here, I said, okay, let's jump to start. But if anybody else still want to greet, we will love to hear your voice and your name and everything. Anybody else want to announce?
Rupni Patima Mataji, this is Amritamani Devidasi. I have a request. If you go to any
Yes.
temple in Delhi, please share the
Yes.
darshans with us.
Sure, Mataji.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
actually, last Sunday I went, and last Sunday I went for a home program here. But this Sunday, if I go, I will definitely share Mataji.
Thank you,
I only go
Mataji.
to the east of Kailash, Ratapartha Sati temple. I only go there. I haven't
Perfect,
planned for
Mataji.
Vrindavan yet, but when I go to Vrindavan, I'll share from there also.
Perfect,
Yeah.
Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Please pray for me that I'm able to go to Vrindavan.
Hare
Okay, Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So, Mataji, now I will hand it over to Hemagopi Mataji. And today in Srimad Bhagavatam, I'm just going to check quickly. The verse for today is Mataji shares so kindly. It is, I think, 8:19:22.
Yes, Mataji.
Which
9:18:22.
it says 8:19:22, Mataji.
It
8.
says 9:18:22.
No, just a minute. Mataji.
Oh, okay. Let me see. I'm just seeing the last post. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, 8:18:30 was before that.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Mataji.
It might be 19, Mataji. My mistake. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
19
no.
है ना?
It is. Yeah, Mataji. The yesterday's class was by Murari Vallabh Prabhu. It was 8:18:30. And I don't know whether that verse finished, and now it is 8:19:22.
Yeah, Mataji, वो messages disappear होते हैं ना, तो that was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Mataji, what is the exact verse today?
Mataji had sent me the link to Canto 9, Chapter 18, Text 22.
Mataji 19 होगा, chapter 19. Sorry, my mistake. Yeah.
But Mataji, we are not on Canto 9, Canto 8.
Yes, Mataji, Canto 8. That's what we are.
Canto 8.
Yeah.
8 and
Canto 8
chapter.
for sure. Rest I'm confused about the other two. I was
Okay.
not able to attend yesterday's class.
I can quickly confirm, Mataji. Give me just a
Okay.
second. Let me look at my
Yeah,
notes.
yeah. What is the last verse we read yesterday? That is what.
8:19, I think. 8:19 chapter.
Actually, Mataji, I had shared.
8:19:3. Yugal Kishore Prabhu did 3.
Yeah. And then I remember I shared for.
13. We did 13. And then yesterday. So
Murari.
19 should be okay, Mataji. 8, 13,
8:19.
19, 19. That should be okay. 8, 19 and whatever the verse is. What is the verse for today?
22.
So 8, 19, 22.
Sorry, Mataji. Thank you.
No, the verse number is right. The chapter is also right. Only the canto was not. 8, 19, 22. Sorry, so sorry, Mataji, about the confusion.
Thank you, Mataji.
8:19:22. Okay.
Yes, I write it down. So, yeah.
Okay. So today we're doing 8:19:22. So Mataji, please take over. Sorry for the confusion. Hare Krishna.
We will just start with the praying to Radha Madhava. Jaya Radha Madhava कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधव राधे जय राधा माधव राधे जय पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जगन्नाथ जय बालदेव जय सुभद्रा देवी जय जगन्नाथ जय बालदेवा प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 19, from text 22 onwards. This chapter is called Lord Vamanadev Begs Charity from Bali Maharaj. Text 22. We can try to recite it by repetition. Tribihi kramir asantushtu Tribihi kramir asantushtu Divipena pina puryate Vipena
Vivitena Puryate
Navavarsha sametena
Navavarsha samayetena
Saptadvipa Varechaya
Saptadvipa Varechaya
Tribihi Kramir Asantushtu
Tribhivi Kramera Asantushtu
Vipena Pina Puryate
Vipena Pina Puryate
Navavarsha Sametena
Navavarsha Samayetena
Saptadvipa Varechaya
Saptadvipya Varechaya. Thank you,
Tribihi
Mataji.
Kramir Asantushtu
Tribhihi Krame Asantishtu
Vipena Pina Puryate
Vipena Pina Puryate
Navavarsha Sametena
Namavarsha Sametena
Saptadvipa Varechaya.
Saptadvipa Varechaya.
Any devotees like to sing the verse? Let's do the synonyms, word by word translation. Tribihi, three. Kramaihi, by steps. Asantushtaha, one who is dissatisfied. Vipena, by a complete island. Api, although. Na puryate, cannot be satisfied. Navavarsha sametena, even by possessing 9 varshas. Saptadvipa vara ichaya, by the desire to take possession of 7 islands. If I were not satisfied with 3 paces of land, then surely I would not be satisfied even with possessing one of the 7 islands consisting of 9 varshas. Even if I possessed one island, I would hope to get others. Text 23. We'll read till text 24, where we have purport of Srila Prabhupada. Text 23. Sapta dvipadi patyo dripavanya dayaha artai kamair gatanantam trishnayati na shrutam. Translation. We have heard that although powerful kings like Maharaja Prithu and Maharaja Gaya achieved proprietorship over the 7 dvipas, they could not achieve satisfaction or find the end of their ambitions. Text 24. Yadrichayo papa nena santushto varte sukam na santushtas tribair loker ajitatmopasaditai. One should be satisfied with whatever he achieves by his previous destiny, for discontent can never bring happiness. A person who is not self-controlled will not be happy even with possessing the 3 worlds. Purport. If happiness is the ultimate goal of life, one must be satisfied with the position in which he is placed by providence. This instruction is also given by Prahlad Maharaj. Sukam aindriyakam daitya deha yogina dehinam sarvatra labhyate daivad yatha dukham ayatnataha. My dear friends, born of demoniac families, the happiness perceived with reference to the sense objects by contact with the body can be obtained in any form according to one's past fruitive activities. Such happiness is automatically obtained without endeavor, just as we obtain distress. Bhagavatam 7:6-3. This philosophy is perfect in regard to obtaining happiness. Real happiness is described in Bhagavad Gita 6:21. Sukham ayantikam yat tad buddhi grahyam atindriyam atindriyam vetti yatra na chaivayam shishtas chalati tattvataha. In the spiritually joyous state, one is situated in boundless transcendental happiness and enjoys himself through transcendental senses. Established thus, one never departs from the truth. One has to perceive happiness by the super senses. The super senses are not the senses of material elements. Every one of us is a spiritual being. Aham Brahmasmi. And every one of us is an individual person. Our senses are now covered by material elements, and because of ignorance, we consider the material senses that cover us to be our real senses. The real senses, however, are within the material covering. Dehinosmin yata dehe. Within the covering of the material elements are the spiritual senses. Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam. When the spiritual senses are uncovered by these senses, we can be happy. Satisfaction of the spiritual senses is thus described. Rishikeshena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. When the senses are engaged in devotional service to Rishikesha, then the senses are completely satisfied. Without this superior knowledge of sense gratification, one may try to satisfy his material senses, but happiness will never be possible. One may increase such ambition for sense gratification and even achieve what he desires for gratification of his senses. But because this is on the material platform, he will never achieve satisfaction or contentment. According to Brahminical culture, one should be content with whatever he obtains without special endeavor and should cultivate spiritual consciousness. Then he will be happy. The purpose of the Krishna consciousness movement is to spread this understanding. People who do not have scientific spiritual knowledge mistakenly think that the members of Krishna consciousness movement are escapists trying to avoid material activities. In fact, however, we are engaged in real activities for obtaining the ultimate happiness in life. If one is not trained to satisfy the spiritual senses and continues in material sense gratification, he will never obtain happiness that is eternal and blissful. Srimad Bhagavatam 5:11 therefore recommends Tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam sudyet yasmad brahma saukyam tvanantam. One must practice austerity so that his existential position will be purified and he will achieve unlimited blissful life. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Jayapataka Swami Acharu Padaya. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarini. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna. So I was preparing for a different set of verses, but these verses are so beautiful that all of us, even if it is suddenly given to us in like 1 second, we all can relate to it in a very easy way because it's talking about sense gratification. These sets of verses are talking about sense gratification. Just 1 second. So here This is the verse 22 that we looked at today, is the response given by Vamana Dev to Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj is telling, why are you taking only three steps of land? I am a king, I am supposed to satisfy the people to whom I give charity. What can one do with 3 steps of land, So please ask and take whatever you need so that your senses will be satisfied, so that you will be satisfied. So that is the request of Bali Maharaj. And as a response to that, Vamana Dev is telling, if one cannot be satisfied by the 3 foot of land, then one cannot become satisfied even if they get all the varshas, the different continents, or all the planets even. So how much ever one may possess, if one does not practice becoming satisfied with what they are possessing, then the need becomes endless. And then he gives the example of Maharaj Prithu and Maharaj Gaya, and they were the proprietors of the 7 dvipas, and they could not achieve satisfaction or find end for their ambition. So he is there. Even if you get all the 7 dvipas and you get to rule all of them, it is possible that you will not become satisfied if you cannot be satisfied with what you have in your hand. That is what he is he is giving some examples of some famous rulers. And Srila Prabhupada gives in the purport to the next verse how to become truly happy. So, a person who is not self-controlled will not be happy even with possessing the 3 worlds. And if one is practicing self-control, even if they have only 3 foot of land, they can be very happy. So we can see in the modern day, there is war going on everywhere. Every place, this country is fighting this country, and then turn that side, and that country is fighting. Russia is fighting with Ukraine, and then you turn this side, then Israel is fighting with Iran with support of America, and all the other Middle East countries are all like kind of entangled in the fight, and India, Pakistan, war to eternally happening. So all over the place, everyone is fighting. And what is the reason of their fight? Because they want to have control of something that was not given to them, and because of that, there is so much of unhappiness. And if you see what has been given to them, that's quite a lot. You people have quite a lot of things that have been given to them, but they're not just happy with what has been given, and they want something more. Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam. So we forget that everything belongs to God. Srila Prabhupada in the purport to that verse talks about quota. Quota means what is given to you. So everybody is given a quota by God. Everything belongs to God. Everything belongs to Krishna. And Krishna, from that everything, gives everyone something, something, something as their quota. And if you cannot be happy with your quota, and if you try to encroach upon and take others' quota, then you will be suffering from um, unhappiness. There will be great distress. So only a person who can be happy with his quota, and only a person who does not encroach upon others' quota, can be truly happy. And then how can one become that? And the simple thing is, you have to control yourself. So, and in the purport, Prabhupada explains very beautifully how one can control oneself. how self-control, that's a big thing. This is so many people are drug addicts, so many people are addicted to smoking, alcohol, and many other bad habits. They're addicted to many other bad habits only because they lack self-control. If we would know the art of controlling ourselves, then actually we will not have any challenges at all. And a person who does not know how to control oneself, his mind is like a wild horse. It drags you everywhere, into every possible imaginary scenario where you perceive threat, where you perceive joy, and based on these fake perceptions, whenever you perceive threat, you want to attack them, because you offense is better than defense. So you want to attack them to stop the threat. And wherever you perceive joy, even though it is not yours to have, people will go attack and they will want to take whatever is someone else's quota. So when there is no self control, the mind becomes the greatest enemy, and one is dragged all the way down to hell, just because he does not have that sense control. And when you can't get it, you're putting so much effort, and you can't still get it. You see something, you go out of control, you either perceive it as a threat and you want to destroy it, or you perceive it as an object of gratification and you want to attain it. And it's not possible. Even with the best efforts, it is not happening. You are not able to get it. Then what happens? What happens if we don't get what we are hankering for? Someone would like to answer?
Hare Krishna Mataji, if we don't get what we hanker for, we get angry.
Frustration.
Angry.
Anger, frustration.
Yes. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, there is a set of verses in Bhagavad Gita. There is a spiral where there is a discussion going on about what happens. When your desire is not satisfied, then you will become angry. It can be any kind of desire. Desire doesn't necessarily mean something mean or something nasty. It could be any kind of desire. It can be a desire to even perform some dharma, some artha, to get some money, to fulfill some senses, or even liberation. It can be any kind of desire. And when that desire does not get fulfilled, it gives rise to anger. So, and then the whole spiral, I'm just trying to get that verses so we
Yeah,
can
Mataji,
read.
ध्यायते विषयान् पुंसान् संगस्तेषुपजायते संगात् संजायते कामात् कामात् क्रोधोऽभिजायते क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमा स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति. हरे कृष्ण माताजी.
Kindly also tell us, thank you so much, Mataji. Kindly also share with us the word, the translation.
Yes, Mataji. Dhyayate Vishayan Pumsan, like when we are attracted towards the object of senses, Sangas Teshu Pajayate, and like with that, the cycle begins. And if we don't get what we are desiring, we get angry. When we get angry, we lose control. And when we lose control, we become crazy. Like something, I'm just giving it in my words, Mataji. I don't have Bhagavad Gita handy, but that's what, yeah, the translation is. Like, yeah.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Very super handy, such an expert preacher among us. Thank you, Mataji. So when we are
I'm driving, so I don't have access to. I'm so sorry. I'm not expert, Mataji, not at all. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for sharing it. So first we are thinking about it, we are thinking about something that we want, contemplation, and that is dhyayato. Then we develop some kind of attraction towards it. Either we want to have it or we want to destroy it because it's some kind of obstacle that is going to, some way we want to deal with it. And we try our best to deal with it, and that is where lust, we are hooked to lust. And when it is not fulfilled, then we get angry, and then from anger delusion arises, and then delusion, complete bewilderment of memory. Yeah, you become bewildered, and then you lose your intelligence, and when you lose your intelligence, you fall down. So that is the risk of that is the risk. This is exactly what um, uh, Vamana Dev is hinting at. Yeah, he's saying if you have 3 feet of land, and if you're not satisfied by it, and you think, just contemplate, just think about it. Maybe if I have little bit more, then I will be okay. Yeah, even the king is even openly offering. Why do you ask only 3 feet? Why don't you take something more? I'm here to give charity, to fulfill your desires. So why don't we take more? So what is the end of that more? The end of that more is never going to be, even it can be the entire creation. The entire creation can be given, and then even that will not be sufficient. And 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 somebody who is not satisfied like that, then they ultimately end up falling into this material pool. Krishna says, um, pranashyati, buddhi nashtat pranashyati. Pranashyati means to fall down. We fall down into this material world. But even if we see, the subtle most desire that we have is to be God. That is the reason why we are in the material world, to try to be God. Even though we are not God, when we hanker for that, to become God, then we end up being in the material world, so where we can play pretend gods. We can try to be controllers, we can try to be enjoyers, and 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 when we understand and finally become frustrated, and when we turn back to Krishna, then the material existence ceases, it stops. So that is the danger of having any little bit of material desire. And any bit of material desire we may hold on to, it will take us further and further and further away from Krishna. One one tiny sense, one sense alone that is not controlled, in a small way, one sense that is not controlled can lead one to drift away from Krishna completely. Yeah, and then by the time you wake up, you are like totally entangled. Very common popular examples we give are that of Saubhari Muni. He was under the water, he was not even on the land meditating, he was under the water meditating. So you cannot even hear, see, smell, taste, all the senses become completely controlled, because you are surrounded by water. And 50,000 years of meditation, and then just 1 second he opens his eye. When he opened that 1 second, he opened his eye, he saw fish. Two fish are mating, and then the whole, just that one sense dragged him away from his meditative process, from his path of self-realization and liberation. He ended up marrying the um, princesses of the king, and And for many years, he was enjoying his senses. And so one sense, any one sense that is not in the proper track can drag oneself away from the path of self-realization. So overall, it looks like a very scary idea, like, oh my God, we are in such a, we are aspiring devotees, we are practicing, attempting to control our senses, but that's such a big risk, so scary. So then Prabhupada is in the purport further down, talking about he's talking about what are called super senses. Yeah, senses are very difficult to control, but if we can develop super senses, then the super senses are very easy to control. So what are these super senses? Super senses are transcendental senses. These are the spiritual senses, and these senses they don't require controlling, they require engaging. So when we look at some very delicious food, when we have just the sense of tongue, we are like lusting over it. We are drooling like, I want to eat it. No, so that sense. But if we have super sense, what do? We take that food, we offer it to Krishna, we make it prasadam, and we give it to the sense, and the sense is completely satisfied because of being engaged in honoring the prasadam. You see some beautiful flower. When you have just the sense, the flower, you want to take the flower and you want to smell it and you want to enjoy it. But when you have a super sense, what do? You take the flower and you offer it at the lotus feet of Lord, and you take it as Maha flower and you smell it. And then because you have engaged the sense in the service of smelling the flowers offered to the lotus feet of Krishna, your sense are now super sense, they're transcendental. Yeah. So Prabhupada says that the only way to self-control is not to artificially try to control the sense in some mechanical means, by doing some yoga or meditation or something like that. The only way is to make your senses super senses. And super senses means they are transcendental senses. Transcendental sense means these are senses that are engaged in the service of Lord. The activity as such will not be different. A person who wants to gratify sense will also eat food. But a person who is having super senses, he will also eat food, but it is prasadam. A person who wants to satisfy his nose will also go for fragrances. A person who wants to who has super sense will also enjoy fragrances, but it is prasadam. So like that, every sense can be dovetailed in such a way that it becomes a spiritual sense or a super sense. And the main job of these senses is that they are actively engaged in the service of the Lord. Every sense, and we have the example of Ambarish Maharaj, Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayor, Vachamsi Vaikunta Gunanu Varnane. Every sense, eyes are used for seeing the form of the Lord, nose is used for smelling the tulasi offered to the lotus feet of the Lord, body is used for serving the body of the Lord, limbs, hands are used for wiping the floor, leg is used for going to visit different holy places, and head is used for taking the lotus feet dust on offering obeisance to the Lord, and mind, the master of all senses, is used in alignment with the desires of mind are aligned with the desires of the Lord. Yeah? So when we practice this, then we develop the super senses, and when we have super senses, then we become self-controlled, not because we are trying to control it. It automatically becomes controlled because we are not trying to stop it, but we are trying to engage it. And once we can do that, then we are able to we are able to exercise that within 3 foot of land, we can be completely satisfied. Yeah, so that is the overall overview or the overall idea of the instruction given by Vamana Dev to Bali Maharaj. So to summarize, the verses we are looking at is from verse 22. We looked at 22, 23, 24. Verse 22, Vaman Dev says that if one cannot be happy with 3 pays of land, then one cannot be happy even with the 9 varshas. There is nothing, or all the 7 islands are given to them. Even like that, they cannot be happy. And he talks about many great kings who, in spite of having literally the whole world under their control, could not achieve satisfaction. And then Vamana Dev tells that one should have 2 things. The first idea is one should have super senses, and the second idea is one should only accept what is their quota. So the one's quota is what Krishna has given to you as your provision. Yeah, this is as per your karma and as per your current situation. This is what you are destined to have. Yeah, so you should become content with that. And second thing is, when you are not content with it and when you want to have something more, you need to control yourself. Self control should happen. And we looked at the danger of not having self control. With the help of Premanandini Mataji, we were able to remember what happens when we don't have self control. We contemplate on what we want to have, and then that makes us become lusty over those things. And in spite of our best effort, if we can't get those, we become angry, and then we become deluded, and a failing of memory, losing of intelligence, and ultimately fall down. So that is the spiraling down. In Bhagavad Gita 2nd chapter, Krishna gives that spiral of fall down. Yeah? So Mataji very beautifully explained how from the desire, just a desire to have something material, how we go down, 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 and we fall into this material creation. So the very core desire a living entity has to be God or to be in par with God is causing us to come to this material world. So that is the danger of not having self-control. So the next question is, so how do we develop self-control? So Prabhupada says self-control is developed when we develop super senses. And super senses are not senses that are stopped from doing things, but super senses are senses that are engaged in service of the Lord. And we saw the example of Bari Maharaj, Ambarish Maharaj, how he used each and every sense of his to in the service of the Lord, including the master of all senses, the mind. That the desire of mind should be aligned with the desire of the Lord. Like that, when we control our senses, we develop what are called super senses, which will give us the satisfaction to be happy with the 3 steps of land that God has given us as per our karma. So that is the overview of this section. Thank you for your kind attention. If you have any comments or questions.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Madan Pranam to you. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you so much. This is something which I had read first time about the super senses. Like I know that, we kind of do our senses are like, Rishikesha is like, I mean, for example, like, just correct me, Mataji, like, for example, we're offering bhoga to the Lord, right? So, when we offer the bhoga, we're offering to Krishna's senses so he can enjoy tasting it without us tasting at all. And then after that, when we take it, then it's like prasad. So that we understand from point of view from the like in the sense that taking prasad, after offering the bhoga. But what about the other senses? Like, what about the other senses? How can we use the other senses in the service of the Lord? Uh, you know, this is for the sense of taste, but what about the eyes and nose and, other things? How we can use that?
That is where we heard that shloka of Maharaj Ambarish. Ambarish Maharaj, he is in Bhagavatam, I think it comes in the 9th canto, right? Ambarish Maharaj is is a personification of super senses. If you want to talk about someone who has controlled all the senses, then Ambarish Maharaj, that is the famous verse, Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayor Vachamsi Vaikunta Gunanuvarnane, no, Karav Hari Mandira Marjanadishu, Shrutim Chakar Archuta Satgato Day. Now every sense is talked about. In the 3 verses are there. So every sense is talked about it. Mind is used for meditating on the lotus feet of Krishna. The tongue is used for singing the glories of the Lord and for taking prasadam. A hand is used for cleaning the Mandira Marjanadishu. And Shrutim Chakar Archita, the ear is used for hearing the glories of the Lord. And the eye is used for looking at the beautiful form of the Lord, the deity form of the Lord. And feet are used for going to different holy places. So the smelling is used for smelling the tulasi and flowers offered to the lotus feet of the Lord. And your sira, you bow your head down to the Rishikesha Pada Vandane. Your head is meant for going down to Rishikesh. And every desire that rises in your mind is dovetailed in such a way that it is in line with the desire of what the Lord wants. Like that, every sense can be engaged.
Yes,
And
Mataji. So my question is like, to engage. So nicely you told about Amrish Maharaj. Like, for example, all these things can be done when we are in the temple, right? For example, our eyes are looking at the deities. We are smelling the tulsi leaves. We are sweeping the floor. But when we are in the outside world, that time how do we engage our? How do we serve Rishikesha? Krishna is another name. That time how do we do it? It's like, because it's easy in the temple, but when it's outside, of course, like when we go out, we don't eat, we take prasadam, which is offered to Krishna. But that is the aspect of eating, right? But I meant to ask about the senses when we are outside, like workplace, other places. That time we can't really engage, our eyes and ears and all. So that was my question. Sorry.
yes, Prabhupada, in the same purport that we were reading, Prabhupada is talking about devotees. Yeah, Prabhupada is saying that devotees are not escapists. And Prabhupada uses the word that we are not escapists. Let me try to read that bit of purport again. Um, the purpose of Krishna conscious movement is people who do not have scientific spiritual knowledge mistakenly think that the members of the Krishna conscious movement are escapists trying to avoid material activities. In fact, however, we are engaged in real activities for obtaining the ultimate happiness in life. So we are not escapists who are trying to avoid our material duties. You may be working, you may have to sit in a meeting, you may have to deal with a lot of people who are not devotees, and you may have to even serve them coffee, tea, or even in Western countries, even probably alcohol or whatever. And may I request,
Yeah.
someone seems to have their mic on.
Yeah.
Can you
If everybody
kindly?
can mute their phones. Sorry. Sorry, Mataji. Go ahead, Mataji.
So we don't have to try to uh, Prabodhananda Saraswati says the whole material world is the place of great joy, which sounds like, oh my God, is he a devotee? But what is he saying is, this place becomes a place of great joy because you can see Krishna in everything. Like just like Prahlad Maharaj, each and every atom he was able to see the presence of the Lord. That's why when Hiranyakashipu asked, is your Lord in this pillar? He very confidently said yes. So there is no separate agenda of us living a life away from Krishna. Even if I am working, that work is meant for serving Krishna. Even if I'm dealing with 50 people who are not devotees and I'm pushing through some project to earn some money or whatever it is, I'm serving my in laws who are not devotees, whatever it is, none of it is an agenda that is separate from Krishna. I may do everything in this material world, but I know that all of this I'm doing only with Krishna in my heart. That is how we survive this material world, and that is how we not just survive in this material world, we actually can see this material world as a suitable vehicle for performing devotional service. Vairagis are people who renounce, who are artificially renouncing. Like monkey, it stays on top of a tree. It doesn't have a house. It doesn't have clothes. It's naked, and it doesn't cook or anything. It just picks up some fruit and eats. No, but is it truly renounced? Is the monkey really not attached? It's super attached because all of the time it is only thinking about enjoying its senses with the she monkey, the female monkeys. So the renunciation, the so-called renunciation that the monkey shows to this world is very superficial, because in reality inside is very, very attached. But Rupa Goswami teaches us a principle called not Marakata Vairagya, but Yukta Vairagya. Yukta Vairagya means whatever might be the thing that comes our way, anything that the material world may throw in our way, we simply see how we take it and how we engage it in the Lord's service. Oh, you can give me wealth of this world, and it will still not be enough for me. Is it because he is so greedy that he can't be satisfied with 3 feet of land? No. He's saying that not enough. All the wealth in this world is not enough for completely serving Krishna. No, so even if a million things are given to us, as long as we have that vision, I am attached to it only to the level that I can utilize it in Krishna's service. I'm talking to people, I'm attached to talking to people to the level that I can bring Krishna consciousness to them. I am doing this business, I'm attached to doing this business only to the extent that it can bring me to Krishna consciousness. And when we can consciously make an effort that everything that comes our way, we utilize it repeatedly and repeatedly in service of Krishna, we'll see that there is nothing at all material around us. Everything is spiritual. And there is no need for us to hide or stop ourselves from or protect ourselves from, because everything is ultimately usable in Krishna's service. Is that answering in some way your question, Mataji?
No, yes, Mataji completely answers the question. Thank you so much. I wanted to hear this from you because, like even our material, actually, like we say, you do a job, that you do it for Krishna, everything you do for him. So then that way also we are not thinking of our own sense gratification. There's so much salary I will get and I will spend on myself, like that. So It's amazing that how you explained. But I just wanted to ask if anybody else has any question, comments. I was not able to place my question properly in the beginning, but then you got it what I wanted to say. Because in the temple it's very easy. We can we do the, but when you're outside it becomes a little bit hard because we see material people, world, this and that. But we also have to think that this material world is also Krishna, like you said. Thank you, Mataji. So anybody has any question, comment for Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much for such a wonderful class. Though it was a very short notice, and the verse was different too, but you explained it so nicely, Mataji. Thank you so much. And also thank you, Prem Nandini Mataji, for explaining that Bhagavad Gita verse too. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Guru.
Thank you,
Anybody has any
Mataji,
question?
for the wonderful
Thank you,
class.
Mataji.
you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Yeah. Vancha kalpataruvasya
Krupavescha kripasintu evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananda Koti Vaishnavinda ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
Agnes
Jai.
Prem
Sarves Hemagopi Mataji ki jai.
Mataji ki jai.
All wish to assemble devotees. Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Hare
Jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hari Bol. Hari Bol.